Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Jimenez. I'm the service coordinator for the Practical Advantages team. We helped OASIS Center International. It's an amazing organization, nonprofit. It helps underprivileged youth and helps them expand their interest in arts, such as hip hop, music, drawing, everything like that. It's a really incredible organization that's helped out a ton of youth. I'd like to start with a quote. We believe that the arts have the power to ignite creativity in an individual. And that's really the basis for OASIS. They have made a programming that brings out the best in youth in terms of exploring their interests, exploring who they are, what they want to be, and this gives them an opportunity to express themselves to the fullest. And I'd like to talk a little more about OASIS. I'm going to hand it over to Michael, and we'll go from there.
Thanks, Chris. Can you all hear me? Hi, my name is Michael McClellan. I'm the campaign book manager for our team here at Para-AD. And this semester, our group teamed up with OASIS Center International to develop and implement a new social media policy designed to advertise the product launch of their new all online after school initiative. Our agency implemented a strong social media presence to connect with low income to moderate income families, communities, as well as underprivileged children stuck at home who need OASIS' services the most. OASIS was founded back in 2012 and has become a staple of in and after school arts education here in Orange County. They're a nonprofit organization with the goal of enriching young people, especially those from underprivileged backgrounds and communities, as Chris said, as well as Title I schools with an exceedingly diverse arts curriculum of programs, including tap dance, cartooning, creative arts, journalism, journaling, graphic design, and many more. Beginning in September, our team met with Jin Sung, founder and executive director of OASIS, to discuss everything in preparation for the product launch of Art Leads in late 2020. So going to COVID-19's impact, the coronavirus caused a lot of the base operations of OASIS centers in-person arts initiative for after-school meetings and programs to shut down, unfortunately. And what OASIS came to find out was that elementary schools and students, while transitioning to an all online setting, still needed the arts curriculum, but they needed it in a virtual setting, but as interactive as it was as if they were in an in-person classroom. So on to the next slide. So they created Art Leads, which is named after OASIS's mission statement that we believe that art leads, and is a hybrid virtual after-school course designed for elementary school students. Over a 10-week period, students will meet virtually as arts professionals, or with arts professionals, and they watch a library of professionally made videos that cover all kinds of curriculum, including all kinds of dance, all kinds of painting, all kinds of graphic design work. It's incredible the amount of information this program has. So moving on to the goals. Our preliminary goals for this semester were to gain audience reach and develop a social media campaign, including a policy, a framework for moving forward, and a calendar along with the media advertising itself. Our target audience switched from rural communities to Hispanic communities here in OC because we came to realize that the rural communities in California, mostly LA and in the Inland Empire, lacked the amount of internet data share power that they needed to stream the Zoom calls, as well as all of the videos for the 10-week course in Canvas. So we focused on creating a bilingual campaign on both Facebook and Instagram, including hashtags, high quality videos that OASIS has provided for us and that we have made for OASIS. And as far as our social media, we wanted to create a strong social media presence that followed 4 key rules detailed in our social media policy, including the ease of navigation, consistency, build up of the OASIS program, as well as consistency, so that we could get as many people, as many eyes on our media as possible, as well as to create a consistent schedule and make the videos accessible to all of our audiences. Now on to Stephen for our SWOT analysis.
Awesome, thanks, Michael. My name is Stephen. I am the Research and Strategic Planner. I covered the SWOT analysis, and it was important for us to analyze the organization to better calculate our approach. So what we did is we chose a SWOT analysis over a pest analysis, and this was conducted because it helped us show which areas OASIS is doing well, the weaknesses that we can capitalize on, external threats, and ultimately opportunities that we believe OASIS can capitalize on. So just to go over some of the main areas with strengths. We understand OASIS has a strong reputation for serving underprivileged communities since their establishment in 2012, and has a certified board of directors as well as donors. So what this means is that everyone on the board has acquired expertise and experience to benefit OASIS in a professional manner. In addition to reputation, it was concluded that OASIS had tightly knitted partnerships with school districts across several counties to conduct programs. And these partnerships were also noted with community colleges to which students are helping OASIS with certain program interface troubleshooting. Those are also recently attained and are deemed to be beneficial. And one of our last strengths that we noted and worked on, especially in this last semester, was the social media policy. The recent induction of the social media policy that we will get into later is one of our last strengths. And some of the opportunities that we noticed for OASIS were, as Michael talked about, art leads, and that once that trademark is approved, which should be rather soon, it's going to lead to increased marketing and branding opportunities. And this correlates with the enhancements of social media, which has the ability to target demographics and psychographics that OASIS ultimately wants to channel to in a more effective way. And our team went ahead this last semester and began creating marketing content in anticipation of art leads, which will be utilized in the near future. And with that, we'll go on to resources with Alyssa.
Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa Hosford and I'm the campaign schedule manager for our group, and I'm going to be discussing the resources. So first off, we primarily used Google Drive to share and store videos amongst ourselves and with the client. We also used FunctionFox to keep track of our billable hours for the duration of the campaign. And in addition, we also used Zoom to hold conference calls with the client and with our team to discuss our goals and our progress. For video editing, we mainly used Adobe Premiere Pro, as well as Google Translate and Transcriptive to create Spanish subtitled videos. And we also used Real Player Downloader and VLC Media Player to download videos for editing. In terms of social media posting, we mainly use Hootsuite and Canva to post according to the social media policy guidelines. And we also held weekly meetings with the OASIS marketing team, which helped provide valuable feedback and helped with translations. We also utilized other nonprofits and studied their framework or their website layout to serve as a framework for OASIS as well. Next slide, please. So for our calendar, we began our campaign with the development of a social media policy. And our original timeline involved 3 main phases: a research phase, content creation phase, and the implementation phase. However, due to the Undecided Art Leads launch date, our timeline changed considerably, and our new focus shifted to the creation of conceptual content for later use. Now I'll hand it off to Savannah to talk about the next slide.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Savannah, and I had the pleasure of being the OASIS Media Content Manager for the semester. So I'm going to be covering the campaign outcomes. These outcomes provide basically a result of these set goals that we have already completed. So these outcomes reflect quantitative and qualitative research that was done throughout this campaign. So our first goal was to reach a wider audience. Our first outcome, in the sense, was to provide bilingual options for website and informational media for both students and parents to utilize. The social media that we did primarily focus on was Instagram and Facebook. And for this, templates were also created as a reference to basically establish the most accommodating vision for the OASIS website. Our second goal was to come together and create a solid social media plan. This long-lasting plan was, in a sense, general guidelines for the organization to follow and post both regularly and seasonally on a consistent basis. So we worked directly with the social media team to make sure that these type of things were incorporated and utilized in the future. Our third goal was to prepare for the launch of Art Leads. So we have proposed strong and effective social media planning in order to make sure that these strategies were basically expanding the curriculum that they wanted to continue on with, which was the virtual program that was basically going to be initiated. So another thing that we did was create content, but we're going to show that later. And Michael's going to go over some of the unintended outcomes that we had to face throughout the campaign.
Thanks, Savannah. The next slide will be about some of the content that we have created, but for this slide, I'd like to go out and talk about some of the unintended outcomes. So a couple of ideas didn't quite pan out for us, unfortunately. For example, we had to change our demographic, which was originally rural communities, to, as we stated, the Hispanic communities and the kids who are out of school right now, simply because we knew that here in Orange County, usually we have the amount of internet capable of running both Zoom calls, which are essential to the Art Leads programs, as well as to stream all the data on Canvas. And in the Inland Empire, in rural LA, and in some parts of rural Orange County, that's just not possible with the current internet infrastructure. The second thing that we had to change was the product launch date. Due to circumstances beyond our control, the launch date changed from October or November of this semester to the spring semester, which quite frankly, I think will work out a lot better, considering that more people are going to be trying to find arts programs like this to have their kids be a part of. And I think that with all the content we've created, this is the best time for it to come out. And thirdly, we had a little bit of difficulty increasing awareness due to lack of social media access. So with our campaign, we were able to create a lot of social media videos, transcripts, and both English and Spanish media. However, due to difficulty connecting some of the organization's social media, that had to wait a little bit longer than we would have liked to. On to Savannah with our Instagram video.
Thank you, Michael. So basically, with a collaborative team effort, we were able to create a series of posts to be created. And basically these posts were just utilized to just spread the word of the upcoming launch of Art Leads and just kind of get people excited to see what's going to be going on. We created a variety of videos. So I'm just going to show you just a quick little 10-second clip of something that we were able to create. Give me 1 second. Okay. And the sound should be up. Okay, and so next we're going to go ahead and go into the creation of our social media policy, and that's going to be discussed in further depth by Chris.
Thank you, Savannah. So we wanted to focus on 4 main areas for our social media policy, and that was ease of navigation, engagement, consistency, and building upon the OASIS program. Ease of navigation, posts should be easy to digest, very easy for someone, especially most of our demographics can be a younger age, like youth. We want it to be accessible to them. That way they can easily go in, see content that's posted, and if they need to follow a link to the OASIS Art Leads program set up, for example. Also, with consistency, we made it a point for our social media plan to at least post 2 items of content per week. We did that successfully on Instagram. We did see an uptick in the amount of engagement. And as well, what helped immensely was meeting once a week with the OASIS team. Every Friday at 10 a.m. we would meet again for an hour and discuss potential content we would make, go over like thoughts we had on certain items we wanted to work on. So that was immensely helpful. That was fantastic. And then all this is in service of building upon the OASIS program. So like the video that Savannah showed, that was actually a part of the lesson plan for Hip Hop Lesson 1. So that actually was content that was created back in the summertime. We utilized the content that they made to make these little snippets, these little promos to gain attraction and advertise our leads. All this content we're building up is in the service of our leads, and we hope that it will be used and utilized when it is going forward. And in terms of engagement, I want to make sure that our posts are pleasing to the eye, that they are very photo based. You click on it, it's engaging, and you want to be able to be involved with the content that's on OASIS's page. If we go on to the next slide. In terms of those promo videos, over 9 promo videos were successfully produced for OASIS to implement in their social media. These are all deliverable and they are actionable. So they are ready to be used right now. And what's good is because of the transcripts that we've made, those can actually be added to videos going forward to reach a wider audience for Spanish speakers as well. I believe in the Santa Ana area in which OASIS is located, there's about 76% Hispanic population as well. But this is, again, all in service of Art Leads for its launch in spring 2021. We'll go on to the next page. In terms of our social media metrics, the OASIS Practical Advantage team worked cooperatively. Like I said, once a week we'd meet and discuss content that we wanted to post, bounce around ideas. It was excellent for brainstorming. And these are the results that we're receiving. We saw an increase in the amount of engagement. Accounts reached increased as well. I want to say that we were successful in building up more content for OASIS. And we hope that going forward that this trend will continue and accumulate, especially too when when connecting and cooperating with other nonprofits and kind of having that melting pot of posts going back and forth, we feel like that'll be a great asset for OASIS. And actually speaking about those Spanish translations, we completed about 11 transcripts from the whole hip hop lesson video plan. There's 10 videos in there, as well as 1 video from the jazz. We wanted to make sure that we at least completed 1 lesson plan, that way that can be utilized. And we chose the hip hop in particular because OASIS is utilizing their videos for after school in places that are open for classes right now. And it's been getting a lot of great reception for the hip hop videos, the dancing videos. I imagine a lot of kids want to get up and move right now because they've been stuck on their computers this whole time. So that's why we chose to focus in particular with the transcripts. And those are all available for OASIS to utilize. We can go on to the next slide. This is an example of how we wanted to best adhere to OASIS and what they wanted to do. So on the left, I actually have the first iteration of transcripts. So I would have the timestamp between 10-second intervals. I would go through Adobe Premiere Pro and I would type that up and then have the Spanish translation ready to go. On the left, that was the original format that we had, but we found that it was a lot easier for OASIS's team to use the format on the right because the paragraphs, you can easily go back and forth between the different translations just to make sure that it's all cohesive and that it's easier to implement. So this was kind of showing how we wanted to best work with OASIS and help them build success. In terms of the future for OASIS, there is the Art Leads launch for spring 2021. It is our hope that the team going forward, because I'm happy to hear that OASIS will be joining Practical Advantage for the next semester. For the new team, we hope that we will continue to build content from Practical Advantage for OASIS to roll out in a successful Art Leads program. We hope that going forward, the content that's produced, we keep the ball rolling, and that 2 posts are made at least per social media, so Instagram, Facebook, and that the use of contests, like maybe potentially prizes, community outreach will increase engagement, as well as since the hip hop video transcription translations are completed, we hope that that actually gets that, how would I say that? We hope that that continues on to the other lesson plans. And I would actually say this from Dr. Swanson, that it would be really nice to have a fluent Spanish speaker as well into the next team. That would be a great asset for OASIS. I understand a lot of Spanish, but again, you know, having more people working on that would be really helpful. So just keep that in mind. And then finally, the pandemic did affect OASIS and Practical Advantage, our team, in how we implemented all of our actionable content and, you know, with Art Leads. But at the end of the day, this organization is incredible. They do so much for these kids, and you can tell that there's passion behind everything that they do, and it's for the service of these underprivileged youth. I felt that energy working with Jen and her team, and I think that energy spread to our team because we wanted to work hard for them. And we really just want to thank Jen and her team, Jennifer, Kathy, everybody, for such an amazing experience. I know we all grew a lot from working with you, and we're going to take this with us for the rest of our days. And I know I speak for all of us in that we're just grateful for who you are, Jen, because you really impacted us. So thank you.